All right, Nick, let's talk about the Green Bay Packers. They got something special in Jordan Love. I think there's really great stuff going on both sides of the ball, but they could use a little help, and especially in their search for the new defensive line coach of this team. I think they have a really great candidate coming into their view. I think this would be great news for the Packers. But before we get into that, I'm Andrew, and this is Saturday Morning Inspection. All right, Nick, as I alluded to, the Packers, really great start to this defensive line coach candidate search. I think there's a really great option on the table for the Packers they're going to bring in for an interview. Let's get into the article and we can talk more about it on the other side. This, of course, over on NBC Sports. It says the Packers are interviewing another candidate for their defensive line coach opening on Tuesday. Ian Rappaport of NFL Media reports that they are interviewing Kacy Rodgers for the position. They've also interviewed Aaron Whitecotton, since firing Jason Rebrovich after their elimination from the playoffs. Rodgers has spent the last 6 seasons to the Buccaneers staff and was the defensive line coach and run game coordinator for the last 3 seasons. His contract is up in Tampa, however, and has opened the door for a potential move to Matt LaFleur's staff in Green Bay. I think this would be a really great move for the Packers. This is an incredibly seasoned coach, been around for a very long time, over 30 years coaching football. I think this could be a really good move for the Packers. I'm curious what your thoughts are on this one, Nick. But before we get to you, Packers fans, in the comment section below, we're talking about the defensive line here. We're talking about defensive line coach. What do you think about the potential of Kacy Rodgers coming in? Do you not know who he is? Do you want to learn more about him? Do you think it would be a great hire as an A? Do you think it's a terrible hire as an F? Let us know in the comment section below what your thoughts are on this one. Maybe give it a letter of grade for us as well. But nonetheless, Nick, what are your thoughts on this latest news for the Packers?
Yeah, I think Rodgers would be absolutely the perfect hire. I mean, look, anytime you can add another Rodgers to the Green Bay Packers arsenal, it's always a good sign. But Kacy Rodgers, I think, actually is kind of one of those coaches that perfectly fits what Green Bay needs. If you look at this Packers team, one of the things that really jumps out at you in terms of the whole picture is youth. Right, Jordan Love, young quarterback. LaFleur on the younger side of head coach, defensive coordinator Halfley. He's a great guy, great coach. Massive upgrade this past season over what they had before, but he spent a lot of time in the college ranks. You look at a lot of up front in their front seven, they got some veteran guys, but they got some young guys as well, whether it's Edgerrin Cooper, Van Ness, guys are looking to take that next step in the upcoming years. You look at their offense, right? Obviously, their skill position, they've got a lot of young guys. They got some veterans sprinkled in too, but overall, the Packers are a very young team. And I think what we've seen in big time playoff matchups over the past couple seasons is that they don't have that seasoned grizzled vet to get them through those hard times when it comes to on the sideline coaching. And I love position coaches like a guy like Rodgers here who's seen it all. This is a Bill Parcells guy. He was hired by the Dallas Cowboys in 2003 when Bill Parcells became the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. He later joined the Miami Dolphins when Bill Parcells was essentially running that franchise. I love a guy with that kind of mindset, that kind of old school grit. It's the seasoned coach. It's the guy who's seen it all. It's the guy that'll help the guys weather the storm, keep the veterans on their toes, but give the young guys something to strive forward and get better. You've got a guy here in Rodgers who's developed some of the best, whether it's Cameron Wake in Miami. He's worked with Leroy Glover and DeMarcus Ware, Marcus Spears with the Dallas Cowboys. He was on some really good Jets defenses when he was their defensive coordinator in the mid 2010s. He's developed a lot of great players. He understands how things work in the National Football League. He is just a steady, consistent, solid influence on a team that for the past couple of years, in my opinion, has their youth really been the reason they lost in the playoffs back-to-back seasons, to be totally honest. I thought they had the 49ers beat. I thought they made a bunch of dumb mistakes against the Philadelphia Eagles. Otherwise, that game could have gone a completely different direction. They have a lot of great talent in Green Bay. We all understand this, but they need a little bit more of that veteran presence. They got some great veterans when it comes to players and a lot of key positions, but now they need some veteran coaches to help balance it out. And I think Rodgers would be perfect for that kind of role.
Yeah, Nick, I completely agree with you here. And you look at what the Packers have on the defensive line, especially you got Kingsley Barre, you've got Lucas Van Ness, you've got guys like Devontae Wyatt, you've got guys like Carl Brooks, all up and coming young players, like you alluded to. Youth is the name of the game for the Green Bay Packers. And how is this coach going to handle young defensive linemen? How is he at molding that frame? You take a look at what Tampa Bay has, and guys like Kalijah Kancey and Yaya Diaby really has done a great job molding those young defensive linemen. Diaby especially has come on very, very strong and been really, really impressive. So for me, I love what he brings to the table as far as developing young talent, coming in and doing a lot of great work in that aspect, because that is what this team needs. You've got the young talent. You can bring in a coach who's more on the veteran end of things and just have him help develop these young guys, be that presence in the room. Like you said, this guy's spanned his career and has worked with some of the greatest defensive linemen, whether it was with the Wake over with the Dolphins, whether it was the multiple guys with the Cowboys. This is a guy who's seen it all and can teach a lot to this room. So I think having more veteran guys, whether it's coach or players, I think in this instance is going to be a veteran coach with these young guys is going to be a really, really solid move for the Packers. Great move, great option for Green Bay. I hope they look at going with Rodgers.